I just speak a bit about my take on what's happening here, and I'll start with just going into the goals of what the program is, I just want to just say just a big special thank you to the Harvest team. These guys have been working nonstop in order to facilitate this whole future experience. And the most important part about any new endeavor is making sure you get involved with the right people. And therefore, to be involved with the right people is not a small thing and something that I appreciate so very much. So I'm looking forward to not just this cohort, but future endeavors and cohorts together. But just wanted to thank them for bringing me on to this new special project, which I feel is so very needed. So just wanted to start with that here. Okay.
Thank you.
So I wanted to just maybe just speak a little bit about just this program especially and what brings me here. And I just want to take you through some ideas. Then I'll pass it back over to Harel, and then we'll open up for any questions that people have. So Harel, you can put up the first slide here. The reason why I think that more than anything else that I became excited by joining this team is because of the goal of what they are looking to accomplish. And in my mind here, the goal of this whole program, the goal of this whole endeavor is really to be able to, in some way, bring on not just a team of people, but a whole system to make sure that the goals in our professional life and our personal life are not just being set, but they're actually being hit. And, we outsource everything and we look for solutions to so many parts of our life. At the core of the two major areas of our life, which is our personal life and our professional life, everything is built off of what do we want to achieve and how are we going to get there. And what I was basically presented with was the option to come join a program which is going to do exactly that. And what if you were a part of a whole system which was going out of its way in a consistent, methodical, and very organized manner to make sure that all the things that are really important to you were not just, being laid out clearly, but it was actually a program which would make sure that you're on track to actually accomplish those things. And, this is something, the idea of setting goals and making them happen is something I've been involved with for 20 years. And to see that a real program being put together to actually help people do that in their life in just such an awesome manner, I said, let's do it. And that's really what I see is the goal of more than anything else of what's being offered here is to join a program, join a cohort of people where all of a sudden what you're doing is you are handing over to a whole team saying, you know what, help me have a year here where I can actually really accomplish all the important things in the two areas of my life which I care about so dearly. And that's what I see here. And as Harel said so perfectly, life is really busy. We have a lot going on. Unfortunately, a lot of times, usually that the things that are really important to us end up at usually the bottom of the stack. And what's going to happen here over the course of the year together is to make sure that that doesn't occur. And that those things that are really important to you in your life are not just at the top of the kind of stack, but even more importantly, they're being looked at, they're being accomplished, and that's the story. Next slide here. The world of Cheshbon Nefesh is a concept which, if you look at any part of the world of Jewish growth, this idea is going to be spoken about nonstop. You get nowhere as far as with any goal, with any mission, without real Cheshbon Nefesh. And I don't want to go in defining what Cheshbon Nefesh is right now, but more than anything else, what we know is that if there is not this time that we have where we set aside, in a consistent, clear, structured, organized manner, the time to set goals, figure out if we're achieving them, tweak them if need be. If that's not a part of our life, then what we know very clearly is that nothing gets accomplished. And the reality is what I've seen kind of in this world when it comes to cheshbon nefesh is two fundamental mistakes people make. Number one, people aren't sure, like, what should that whole process look like? There's so many different options out there. Like, what does it actually look like? How do I do it? What are the mechanics of it? You name it. And number two is, I think that where we all fall short is people are inspired to want to change, grow, and be different in all areas of their life. But the problem is so many of those times when we sit down and we try and, make a plan, the world of execution is a different beast. And a lot of times, I can't tell you how many people I've seen where they have, amazing goals, beautiful notebooks filled with lots of idealism of things that they want to accomplish, amazing spreadsheets of what their plan is to do X, Y, and Z. But the reality is to actually carry that out on a long-term basis. That's difficult for many reasons, and not because we're weak and not because people are lazy, but because there are numerous complexities that can get in the way of allowing that to actually happen. My background is in a bunch of different places, but at the core of it, in two different worlds, is basically the same unifying principle. Okay. My life before the world of being immersed in human beings was around architecture. And then I switched to the world of let's take the idea of building and let's place it towards people like all of us, which basically ended me into, into many different things, but probably one of the biggest areas I spend time is in the world of organizational psychology. And the common denominator here is very clear that if things are not systematic, structured, organized, what we know very clearly is beautiful intentions are there, amazing aspirations are born, but the reality is nothing actually really happens in a healthy manner. And the importance of when it comes to goals in any part of our life, those goals just being a part of a whole system of growth, those goals being super organized. I just see so many people over the years that just, again, things have just fallen through the cracks. Things don't happen because, all the right to kind of DNA isn't in place to actually make sure that things can actually really change in our life. And, I guess, when you're now looking at, the idea of being, systematic and being organized, well, like, whoa, we're not just talking about our life goals, we're also talking about our professional goals. And, it's a wild thing. Let's speak, the world of Elul is coming up and we hear nonstop as far as who you're going to be, how's your life going to be different, what are the important things you're trying to work on. And all of a sudden you get to like, the LinkedIn world around mid-November. And all of a sudden, everyone's speaking about what's going to be as far as like the upcoming year. And are you finishing, this quarter strong? Like, so if you're trying to now do both these things, you're trying to take two worlds and actually accomplish and move things forward, like, whoa, being, having all the systems in place in order to make this happen, like it's going to be impossible without it. The world of accountability is probably the biggest game changer that I've seen as far as the very tool that allows people to accomplish things. I've seen it in my own life. I've seen it with students, clients, friends, family members. When there is a world of accountability built in, things get done, things change. And unfortunately, I think that there is a certain stigma to the world of accountability. There's always this thing that we should be able to do it ourselves. I can make it happen without other people. And I think that there's a problem in that. And again, we spoke about that a little bit before on some of our earlier sessions that, we did together when kind of giving people a bit of the background about the program. But I think what's provided here in this structure that's going to be kind of created over the course of your year, this program, which will last a whole year, is that it is packed with nonstop accountability, community, making sure that there are outside resources in your life that are doing everything they can to make it that the goals that you're setting in all areas of your life are actually really being accomplished. And when you take the busyness of life and now you kind of bring in people to make sure that things are on the forefront of your mind, and not just theoretically speaking, but practically they're actually getting done, again, a game changer is an understatement. For me, excitement is probably an understatement. I just feel that for so many years, a program like this has been needed. And when you take people that just love systems, that are invested in systems, that think that systems are everything, like, whoa. And you're also taking a whole team of people that, while rooted in the world of Torah, have decided to say, hey, there are probably some other things out there in the world of whether it's executive coaching, consulting, etc., that are probably amazing tools that we can incorporate into our work. So like, to me, it's a wicked combination of people with the right intentions, totally rooted in the world of Torah, and on the other hand, going out of their way to figure out what's working for the rest of the world. Putting that combination together, like, I just think that what is going to be happening here is all of a sudden to be a part of a program which is going to carry you through the entire year. This is not just an Elul endeavor. This is not just a December endeavor. This is something that's going to be carrying you through nonstop the entire year, but not just in one area of your life, but in the two most important areas of your life. Like, I don't know, how could you in some way, like, not be super excited by this? So just a basic overview, okay? And again, Hara will go into more logistics, but what's going to happen is like this. There is, the program will launch in Elul, and in Elul, what will happen here is for the first few months, we're going to really focus on all of the life goals to make sure those are off of the ground. And then what will happen is when we hit now the December-ish part of the year, at that point, we'll start getting way more involved in our professional life and all of those areas. And so basically what's going to happen here is that after we work through the initial stages of personal and the initial stages of professional, now it's about now combining those two things together and doing everything we can to, again, like Harel said many times, the goal is not just to make it that you get through this year and you succeed. The goal is to really set you up for something long-term, which is, I'm going to say it, the Harvest team won't say it, but I'll say it. Like, in my mind, this is something that could be a real long-term thing for so many people. And if I have a system that works, one of the most difficult times I find people deal with when it comes to the world of goal setting, whether it's Elul or whether it's December, is when you sit down and you figure out, like, okay, how do I do this? What's going to be the new plan? What things should I tweak? If I'm a part of something which is really great, like, sign me up long-term here. And so the goal is that people are a part of a system that can be used not just as a one-time thing, but can be used way beyond that. And so that's kind of like the overview, a little bit of the introduction as far as like what the program is going to actually look like. But even more than that, is this program be everything but theoretical? Okay. The goal is hands-on, practical, real goal-setting techniques and all of those things that all of us need, which is the details in the here and now. All of us know a lot of the big ideas. All of us have inspiration to want to grow and change. But what's really important is, like, do we have a clear approach as far as, practically speaking, how to make, real change over the course of the year? So that's what's going to be happening here over the world of 12 months. What can I say? These are the two areas of life. And what I've seen more than anything else is that when people really feel that these two areas of their life are on the right track, okay, life throws at us many things. And many of those things we necessarily can't plan for, and they're not predictable. But when we feel that we have a clear approach, we know where we're going, we have a system of how to get there, even when life throws at us, different things, we're able to get back on track at a certain point. And all of a sudden, I think that what happens more than anything else, when people really feel like they have a vision, a plan, and they're doing practical things to make these two areas of life actually really come alive and head in the right direction, I think more than anything else, the world of well-being and happiness that creates is absolutely unbelievable. And really that's what I kind of see more than anything else here is like what people are coming on to, what's being kind of offered here is a program to take these two areas of your life and let's get them working together. Let's get them on the right track. And therefore, if all of a sudden now we can go into Elul with kind of a whole process laid out in front of us going into the next year, like I think it's an unbelievable opportunity. That's why I personally am excited by it. And that has led me to, join the team for this new endeavor.